Chris, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I guess there's no better way to ask it other than what's happened in the fourth quarter of the last two games, and how hard is it to stop it when it gets going?
Right. Well, I thought let's talk about the Dallas game going back there. There was 14 plays at the end of the game that we really took a hard look at and felt like, as far as, ball ready, we're down, we're in, Cobra demeanor, everybody's on the same page. It felt like we weren't quite ready at times, and they quick snapped us a couple times, and we weren't ready to play ball. And when we went into the Minnesota game, they were a tempo team too. So that was a big emphasis with our guys. Tempo, effort, fundamentals, tackling, and getting the ball were really our keys going into the Minnesota game. And I thought our guys did a really good job with tempo. I thought our guys did a good job with effort. And, we were going after the ball more than what we had. I thought we did a good job there. And we played well in the first half. The second half, there was 93 plays in the game. And there was at times like what hurt us was the explosive plays. And explosive play is 20 yards, explosive run is 10. These weren't like 21-yard explosive plays. These were 60-yard explosive plays. And that's where it was. And, the Delvin Cook, the series before, I think if you go back and look at it, I think first, second, third down, we had pressure on the quarterback. And we came back, and a lot of times when teams see a lot of pressure, they, try to check the screens to slow it down. They came out the first play, and they ran a jailbreak screen, and we were in zone coverage and misfit it. So, we as far as the overall scheme and everybody knowing what we're doing, we had some missed assignments on that. We didn't fit it the proper way. With that being said, our backside pursuit took some bad angles. So one of our keys to victory was tackling and fundamentals. We did not use good fundamentals, and we did not tackle well on that play. Even if we misfit it, it should have been 8-9 yards. And we had some bad leverage angles and some missed tackles, which turned into an explosive play. And that's what we saw on some of those. The deep one, we had a miscommunication, and our Mike linebacker didn't run with it. And, he was wide open. So, in this game, it's such a precision league. And, it's not 88 plays. It's not 90 plays. It's the whole game. And we didn't play with precision like we needed to, especially in the second half.
One quick follow up: along with their chunk plays, you guys get two personal fouls. You get Buck with the.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like 100 yards right there. Those are just crippling, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And you know what? And, there's a difference between foolish penalties and plays that, penalties that happen. It's such a fast game and plays that take place. But we got to do a better job. We had some foolish penalties. We all learned on the launching, with Gilmore. Even though it was in the chest area, you can't leave your feet, to launch. With Ronnie Thomas, he came down and lowered his head to try to get across his body. But when you lower your head, you got to keep your head and eyes up. So there's things like that. The taunting one is a foolish penalty. Those things, we got a second long situation and we taunt, that puts them back into a first down situation. Those things got to be eliminated.
Joel Anderson. Gus, you guys had 7 sacks. Felt like the pass rush. Normally you think of pass rush as closing games. Did you guys feel like you had a pretty good pass rush despite what happened?
Well, I think, looking back at it, the whole key is sometimes is it sacks or how much you affect the quarterback, and sacks are a good barometer to look at, but I think there was 54 passes in the game. How much did you affect him on the other plays? And that's what we looked at as well. We felt like we needed to affect him. There was times the pressures that we ran at the end, even though we didn't hit him, we affected him. And so we had some plays like that. But, when he has that many opportunities with that skill set, we got to do a good job of affecting him somehow, making him hitch and allow the rush to get there. But we're always going to ask for more. always going to ask for more out of our D-line. And when we run our pressures, to execute them at a high level to at least affect the quarterback.
Nate Atkins.
First game for Dallas Flowers to get some action on defense. Just curious what kind of led to him getting that opportunity, and specifically at this point for you to trust him in some of those situations, and how do you think he handled it?
Well, first, let's credit Dallas. He's done a good job from where he was in training camp to where he is now. He earned the opportunity to get on the field. He's done enough good things in practice. He's done enough good things competing in not only special teams, but in our defensive scheme. And then when Brandon Faison went down, it just seemed like the perfect timing to get him in. And some of the things that they did offensively, we felt like matchups with his length and speed, it would be a good week for him as far as matchups.
Kevin Bowen.
Hey, Gus, what has gone into Julian Blackmon playing corner for you? I assume Kenny's health has played into that. Obviously, he's got some background at Utah, but it's kind of been a unique package you've used.
Yeah, we had some hard discussions over this because Tony Brown was the backup nickel going into this, the season, and he was doing a good job. But it felt like Julian, we were trying to find a way to get Julian on the field. Rodney was playing pretty well. Julian is a guy that is really sharp, played strong safety, played free safety, and it was the more that you can do. And we felt like he's a guy that once on the field, he can make some big plays for us, and we wanted him around the ball. So we knew with him being that nickel, I mean, we're trying to cram a lot of knowledge into a short period of time for him. We knew there was going to be a few mistakes, some growing pains that we would have to go through at no fault of his, just not playing the position. But the skill set that he has and the ball skills that he has, and he's very intelligent. We felt like, some things are just going to be game experiences that he's going to learn. And hopefully those game experiences are more 2-yard gains or 3-yard gains than big plays. And he's done that for the most part for us. So we're just going to continue to grow with him and play him as much as we can to, get those banked experiences for him.
You think long-term he could play in that role in this league?
Well, Kenny's a great player for us, and I think with Julian, it's just a matter of giving us that flexibility to where, he can play strong, free, and nickel. And when it's all said and done, we reevaluate things and take a look at it. But, obviously not having Kenny is, not having a player of his capability on the field is always a little bit of a setback. But Julian does have a great skill set, and feel like the longer he plays the position, he has a chance to do some good things for us.
James Boyd.
Gus, you talked about Rodney Thomas and the plays he's made. What do you think of how he's kind of matured and the ebbs and flows of his rookie season, just dealing with the highs and lows of being in a position where you all obviously trust him and he's, sustained being able to stay on the field?
Well, what I'm impressed with Rodney is just his poise. Some rookies, they go through at this point in the season, kind of a lull where he's very sharp, very focused, and he's on the details. That interception he had, there were some indicators, but in that play, there wasn't an indicator. They did it out of a different set, so it wasn't really a practice rep that he had, but he recognized it and played it really well. They were going for a big shot play, and against the coverage that we're in, and he did a great job executing. And that's what we're seeing out of him. He's built a lot of trust with his teammates because his execution is at a high level. His tackling continues to improve. At that position, we require a lot of him to be a racer tackler. There was times he had a couple missed tackles there, but for the most part, very trustworthy back there as the safety.
We'll go last one here, Mike Chappell.
Guess that Dio's getting more work and he's making more of an impact. Have you seen that as the season has gone on?
Yeah, we really have. We're seeing him playing at a higher speed. He's always been pretty talented, but the challenge for him was to play fast. He's an effort type player, but at times early in the season, when you're thinking too much, the effort doesn't click with the player. And now he has great understanding what we're asking him, and he's playing with really good effort. We put some challenges on the D line. There was times when we all had our backs turned in the back end, and we relied on the 4-man rush to keep him in the pocket. And if he did get out to make a play, and there's a couple times where he came out of it, high effort plays, and kept the quarterback from scrambling from being a big play. And we got a big 3rd and 4th down stop because of it. So. And he's playing the run well too. So I think, he's playing bigger than his size, and he's playing quicker than his size. I think would be the best thing to describe where he's at in his game right now.
Is that probably, sort of the silver lining to Taekwon going down is he's getting a chance to be more involved, I guess?
I would agree. I think whenever there's an injury take place, there's always stories that take place. And there's the Julian Blackmon story, and there's the Dio story. So there's always stories that take place when it is the next man up. And it's cool to see how he's taking advantage of it, and he's creating more depth for this defensive line unit.